Miami Urban Futures Initiative is very excited to partner with the World Strategic Forum today to talk about resilient cities. The theme of the World Strategic Forum this year is leading an era of change. Miami Urban Futures understands the importance of having resilient cities in our future and looks forward to the conversation and research with Richard Florida.
Today's forum is entitled Building Resilient Economies, and it seeks to identify those challenges facing the 21st century urban landscape, which hinders urban centers from fully addressing the needs of their citizenry, as well as identify what the various actors in the city can do both procedurally and substantively to tackle those challenges.
And we've been coming here for about 10 years, and several years ago, I decided to try to build something which became the Miami Urban Future Initiative, which you just heard something about, supported by the Knight Foundation and housed at FIU. What really drove economic growth, Jane said, was when people like us, human beings, cluster. We come to cluster originally in small little settlements around fertile river deltas, and then we grow ourselves into trading towns and into with London and Birmingham and Manchester and then Pittsburgh and Hamilton and Detroit and the Rhine-Ruhr Valley, these industrial settlements, and then ultimately mega cities that we have today. It's this clustering of human beings, the fact that we are around one another, that increases our productivity, but by combining and recombining, by forming new partnerships, by forming new businesses, by forming new artistic endeavors, by forming new musical bands, we could go on and on. This combining and recombining of people and ideas, cities and communities are where people and ideas come to germinate. That's what drives innovation and economic growth. And that's what drives the divide in our society. That's what begins the same. In my new book, The New Urban Crisis, I make this argument. The same force that powers our economic growth and leads us forward into the future, this clustering of talent and ideas and knowledge and great things in cities, is the very same force that splits us apart. Splits us apart in neighborhoods of advantage and disadvantage. You only need to look at Miami with the advantage aligned along the water and go 3 or 4 blocks west and you see poverty. It splits us between advantaged regions and less advantaged regions and creates a different kind of political framework.
And so where we are today, dealing with the issue around housing, dealing with the issues around transportation, dealing with the issue around poverty, inequalities, and so on, that provides us with a tremendous challenge.
500 Startups, as you mentioned in the introduction, our mission is to discover and back the most talented entrepreneurs around the world, help them to create and build successful companies at scale, and create thriving ecosystems.
This is the world's most powerful economic aggregate, more powerful than the EU, more powerful than the Asian trade bloc, and something that we need to take advantage of. And the way we take advantage of it is by working with these city, regional, and mega regional units.
We have a very similar definition at the ULI to Toronto's definition, and I think it's being driven by the 100 Resilient Cities programs. We're looking at how the real estate community can better prepare for and respond to the shocks and stressors associated with a range of events. And the shocks are, these extreme weather events or a terrorist attack or, that sudden moment when a city needs to be prepared.
Travel and tourism is probably one of the biggest opportunities and probably one of the biggest threats that we have, everything that Richard was speaking about. To size it, United States, $2.3 trillion, 1 in 9 jobs, 15 million employees. Around the world, $8.3 trillion, fastest growing industry for 7 years in the world. What Seattle has achieved with Gates and with others coming on, I just think this moving more to a more philanthropic or a civic investment point of view, not only a for-profit, but a philanthropic and civic, is something that Greater Miami is going to need to do as it grows up and if it wants to become more resilient.